pals, and there's also therapy too.
Okay, great. So we're here. We're back. Are you recording?
I am recording.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your patience. We're here.
We're doing it.
We are doing it.
Exciting.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so we've got the Possum. Super fun episode, I feel. I've got a lot of like random things going on, so that'll be really interesting to get into. I do want to say this is a bit of a recap moment, which we haven't done in a minute, like even when we were, doing it regularly. We talked about how Rashida wasn't in this one very much or the last one. And I did some research, and she was doing a ton of things. Like if you look at her IMDb in between 2009 2010, like she was doing 800,000 things, but this one in particular, she was doing The Social Network.
Cool. Okay.
So
I totally forgot she was in that.
That's what I was saying. I was thinking that too. I don't even remember her being in it, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah. Huh. When is, I'm going to look it up because I'm going to forget, and I really hope that it didn't just delete all of my notes. No, it didn't. Okay,
thank God. Oh God.
Oh my gosh. I would have cried.
Me too.
No, I'm going to look up when I Love You Man came out.
Oh yeah, it was in that same time frame, 2009, 2010. I saw that too. So
yeah.
It was
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. She was doing 800,000 different types of movies, like I Love You Man, Our Idiot Brother. She did as well.
That's right.
She was doing that
in
the same time
Was
frame.
that early though?
Yeah, it was like 2009, 2010 is when it came out.
Oh wow, I don't know why. Like my brain thought it was like when I was in college.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't imagine doing that many things all at once. But
yeah,
yeah, I'll have to go back and watch
The
The Social Network. Yeah, good for her, girl. But I really don't remember what she did in that movie. But if I'm being honest, I don't remember a ton of people in that movie, so it's fine. I just remember that everyone was like freaking out that Justin Timberlake was in it for a brief second.
Yeah. Well, and Andrew Garfield was pretty big in that, and
correct.
Jesse Eisenberg, this is just a side moment for those people out here that love SNL. They did a hot little moment where Jesse Eisenberg was hosting, and they brought Mark Zuckerberg in, who he plays in the movie.
I remember that.
And then it was Andy Samberg too, because he plays Mark Zuckerberg in SNL. And so they just all three, I just remember that really clearly for some weird reason. And I had to mention it. I don't know why, but here we are.
I think you remember it because it was, well, maybe this was just me, but one of the reasons why I remember it is because it was so fucking awkward. Because I don't think someone had said that, like, what's his ass, Jesse Eisenberg, had never met Mark Zuckerberg before that moment, or like before SNL.
Oh, yeah.
And so they were kind of just staring at each other, and it was so weird.
Yeah. And he had been him an entire film.
Exactly.
And so that's like, and Andy Samberg has absolutely no regrets or no, like, he's not standing there being like, I'm so sorry I made fun of you. No, he's like,
yeah. He's like, this is
he's
what
happy
it is.
about
this
it.
is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, by the way, oh Lord, here we go. We're already getting on tangents. I don't care. Whatever.
It's okay.
I just watched, speaking of Andrew Garfield, I just watched Tick, Tick, Boom.
Was it good?
Oh my God. It is stunning. I was so shooketh, whatever the kids say. It was so good. And Andrew Garfield's performance was stunning. And he actually, I didn't realize this until I looked it up on IMDb during the actual thing, but he got an Oscar nomination for his performance in it.
That's awesome.
He was so good. And the whole cast was wonderful. What's her name? Vanessa Hudgens is in it as well. And
cool.
The whole cast was just amazing. But and Lin-Manuel directed it. And for those of you who aren't familiar, this story, Tick, Tick, Boom, is a musical, but like they put it into a movie version. And this is a story of the fella who wrote Rent. And this was like his first kind of big-ish thing before Rent became popular. So it's kind of like, it kind of bookends, like there's documentary moments almost at the beginning and ending of like what happened in between Rent, but it's so good. I would highly recommend it. You will cry. Don't worry about that, but you will cry. But it's
Prepare
so
yourself for emotions.
Yes. Anyway, so okay, so Rashida was doing the Social Network, so that explains why she was not a super mega part of the last couple episodes. And then the next thing on my recap, I did not mention. I feel so awful about it. I wrote it in my notes this last time, but I didn't bring it up. The other go-go dancer. We talked about Sarah Sanderson, who was the one that plays Cindy,
right?
Yes. But the other go-go dancer, who was the brunette, I believe she was brunette, was in it as well. And her name is Rebecca Benson. I couldn't find her contact info or her social, so I don't know where she is. But if she's listening, hello, and you were funny, and I'm so sorry I didn't mention you in the other episode, but I'm mentioning you now. So, anyways.
Perfect.
So that's the recap. Okay, so now getting into the Possum. This was written by Mike Scully, who is a huge producer and writer for The Simpsons, Duncanville, which, by the way, have you watched that yet? Duncanville?
I have not.
Okay, I need to.
There are like really famous people in that though, right?
Yeah, Amy Poehler is the one who started it / produced it all. But like there's a ton of, guest stars and stuff that we've seen from Parks too. But anyway, he was a producer and writer for that show too. Huge thing for Everybody Loves Raymond. And he's also written 3 episodes of Parks, which we talked about him on Ron and Tammy, this one, and then The Comeback Kid. But also friendly reminder that he also was the one that I think I just burped a little bit. I'm so sorry.
That was not why I was internally laughing either.
Oh, okay. What were you internally laughing about?
Because The Comeback Kid.
Oh,
is that not the episode where we have the outtake of Andy making a really inappropriate joke about Kim Kardashian? I'll leave that for anybody to Google the bloopers for themselves. I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay, I won't repeat it either then. But it's hilarious. It'll be a nice little treat. It'll be a nice little treat. I don't know exactly.
That's why I was laughing.
Great one. Anyway, no, friendly reminder that Mike Scully, who wrote this, was, remember in the Grizzle episode when they're sending things that, no one could possibly know unless you were stalking them?
Those little care packages?
Yeah, exactly. This guy was like a guest star in the town council who had those like little miniature stuffed animal type situations, and one really looked like Ron, but it wasn't really Ron. It was like Tom Selleck, and it was like a Tom Oinkington or something like that. Some pun.
Gosh.
Piggington.
Sorry, I'm going to look it up because I'm going to be really, really frustrated.
Okay, well, while you're looking that up, he was the one that had those little, in there. Had those little, oh my gosh, animals. So you've seen him before, you love him, and all that good stuff. So that was who it was written by. And then it was directed by Tristram Shapiro, Tristram with an R after the T. And he's directed so many things. Did you find anything, Maddie?
I'm skimming, but I'm also listening.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure that I wasn't interrupting or anything.
No,
if you had found something.
I will look at you and point when I find it.
Okay. Did you have anything, by the way, on Mike Scully before I move on to Tristram, though, the director?
No, you hit it.
Okay, great. We've already seen him before, so I feel like we kind of knew. But anyway, Tristram, the director, he's directed so many things. He directed 4 episodes of Parks. He was also a huge, huge director for Community. So he did about 20 or so episodes of that. So if you watch Community, you've definitely seen Tristram's work. He also worked on New Girl, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Veep, Never Have I Ever, Workaholics. I mean, so many things. 1 episode of Grace and Frankie. All those shows I love. None of those guys had email addresses, so sadly I couldn't contact them, unfortunately. But Mike Scully has a Twitter, so I did tweet at him. But I think I said that in the last episode too with Ron and Tammy. But yeah, so great team here.
Perfect.
Yay.
I love it. I did not. What happened to Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt? Did they end up finishing that and I just didn't stay on top of it? Because the first season I absolutely loved it, but I don't remember watching anything past that. And I know there was a second season.
Yeah, I have no earthly idea. I think they did end it, but same with me. I watched the first few seasons, I think, and I did love it. I just fell out of touch.
Yeah.
So
fair.
But yeah. So, okay. Well, do you have anything to add to Tristram, the director?
I don't.
Okay.
Again, you hit the nail.
Nice.
We do have some cool guest stars.
Yes.
This time though.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
We have so many. Okay, great. Well, I have written summary, so I am ready for a summary. Please.
Okay. Perfect. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to find that later, and maybe we have to recap it, but it is what it is, but I'm not letting go.
Oh, we'll find it. We will find it.
The pig, Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I think it is?
What?
Tom Selleck.
Ooh, that's it. I think that's it too. And if it's not, that's fucking dope.
Thank you. If they didn't write it like that, I'm taking credit for having my own.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, here we go. A summary of the possum. Leslie is tasked with creating a task force to catch the infamous Fairway Frank, a possum who bit Mayor Gunderson's dog Rufus. With no help from animal control, Andy catches Fairway Frank, or does he? This spirals into a power trip for Andy to get Anne back, and a moral dilemma for Leslie, who has to choose between saving a possum's life and mayoral favors. In the meantime, Mark takes on the hefty task of helping Ron bring his woodshop up to code.
Ooh, that was a very detailed and professional summary. I loved it. Covered everything.
Thank you. I wrote it when I was done doing progress notes one night, so my brain was in clinical mode.
That makes so much sense. And you were right. It is Tom Selleck. I typed in Tom Selleck pig Parks and Rec stuffed animal.
Okay. I did that, but without the stuffed animal, and there is the key. Okay. There was the key.
But it just came up with it's on IMDb, and I thought that there would be like multiple ones, but that would require me like digging a little bit more, and that's not where we're at right now. But yes, Tom Selleck was in like the description of it, which is dressed in a Hawaiian shirt, much like Selleck's Magnum PI character.
Yeah, which I've only really seen Tom Selleck in Friends.
Me too.
If I'm being honest.
That's mine. But my mom knows him from what's the other cop show? Blue Bloods, I think it is. That's currently
Blue Bloods,
on.
Yep.
Yeah, she talks about him all the time.
I can picture that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Totally. Okay, so cold open.
The opening.
Are we ready? What do you got?
We are. This is a short one, Holly. Like I honestly, I was like, wait, it's over?
Yeah, it was a short one.
Yeah,
and this is also one of those ones. So well, not one of those ones, but I remember Aziz talking about this. So to recap or to refresh everyone's memory, this is where Tom walks in, gives Anne a bear that has a nanny cam in it, and like it doesn't tell her that it has one in there. And I remember Aziz in one of his stand-up specials saying like some things in parks would not have flown. And this was one of the scenes that he talked about. This would not have aged well.
Oh, it definitely didn't age well. Like this is 100% sleazy Tom situation. And like not even the fact that there's a nanny cam in the bear, but he also goes through some tasks like she could do, right?
Oh,
in front of the bear.
Doubling down on it.
And I love how Anne is so smart, and she immediately is like, there's no way he's giving me just a straight up bear. This definitely has a camera in it.
100%. But I do have to say, I mean, as shitty as it is, Donna saying that she'll take it with like already knowing that it has
and her face, like when she's told that there's a nanny cam in it. I know.
Oh my God. It truly ties it together. I don't think the joke would have worked without Donna. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. If it had just been like, oh, Tom's a sleazeball and the end, like we needed that tension.
It's the redeeming
released.
Quality of the cold open.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my God. Donna's the best though. I love that we're slowly seeing her get her little sassy moment. Yeah. It's perfect. I love it so much. Okay, so now I'm at Anne's house. Are you at Anne's house?
Yeah. Okay. I am, and I love that April asks if she can read Anne's mail.
Can I read your mail?
That's such an April thing to do.
Yeah, totally. I like that also. She said that they never really have like bonded, but she's thinking that they could be friends or whatever. And then April's like, I don't like Anne in the middle of that sentence. First of all, the editing is just choice.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. That editing is amazing there.
Yeah,
I love that.
So good. But also like, I don't know. I guess I understand where Anne is coming from, but I don't know why she feels like she needs to bond with her.
I don't either. And honestly, like, I was like, why is she asking April to do this? Because I feel like you could bond with April other ways. Because first of all, the way she's seeing bonding with April is doing something where Anne's not even there.
Right.
Like, and having April interact with Anne via her house, not her personally. And then also, I understand why she didn't ask Leslie. She's seen Leslie's house. She's like, I'm not letting that happen to my house. But like, we know from from earlier episodes, the Halloween episode, that she has nurse friends.
Right.
So like, why didn't she ask a nurse friend?
Or a neighbor.
Or even Mark, her boyfriend.
Right. Or Mark. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that. That is so true.
Yeah, I was just like, why is April the one you're asking? And I mean, I also just think that's a recipe for disaster.
Totally. So many stories can come of it, which obviously we see. But you know what else?
Yeah.
As I was watching it, I was wondering if it was kind of that thing that they talk about in Office Lady, where the writers try to place two random characters together that haven't been really placed together, and see if like what comes of that. But you're right. Like, she's not even there for them to have a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the most interaction we get with them in this episode is Anne going through the rules and telling her not to let Tom have a copy of a key.
Right.
Then, in the end, when we get to the end, they have that really awkward interaction.
Right. Right.
So that's really it. So yeah, I don't know. That's just the psychologist in me. It's like,
no,
why?
I agree.
Like, you're interacting.
Yeah, this is not a bonding moment whatsoever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, doing trust, like, you're getting trust from someone else, I guess. Oh my God, I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
No,
We will never know the exact reason, but regardless, it does make for some good stories. And also, friendly reminder, Anne is leaving town, so she asks April to watch over her house. And I think, I don't know, is it in its deleted scene, or am I correct in saying that like she's going to some nurse convention? Did they say that in the show?
That must be in a deleted scene, because I don't remember her mentioning where she's going.
Okay, so that's where she's going.
Okay,
in
cool.
case anyone
Good
was
to know.
wondering. Which, like,
So
is that
maybe
a
that's why
thing?
her nurse friends didn't take care of her house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nurse conventions are real, though. I mean, they have to be. I know they have, like, medical conventions all the time where they do, like, lectures and things like that. So it must be like that.
I'm pretty sure, and if any nurses listen to this, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they have to do continuing education. So those conventions count, like the hours count towards your continued education.
Oh, that's great. I'm imagining, this is so stupid, like the nerd in me is imagining like a nurse con or something.
Yeah.
So
that's
stupid.
awesome.
That's not what happened, I don't think. Anyway. Okay, so now we are at Evelyn Rushland. What a name from the mayor's office, being brought in by Ron. And Leslie says, "I've always dreamed of you."
I love that line. I have it quoted in my notes. It's wonderful.
Do you have anything on Evelyn, or like who she's played by?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I got you because she is played by Judith Morland, and she's been in a bunch of stuff. A TV series called Bosch, which I didn't know, but she's also been a co-star on How to Get Away with Murder, Upload, Love, Blackish, many others. She's like one of these actors that has been in just so many things. I loved her performance. I thought she was great. This kind of like cut and dry attitude, and this blue outfit that they have her in. I thought it looked so perfect.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think she did. She has that very prestigious type of vibe going.
Yeah.
And definitely seems like the type of person that Leslie would look up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even this like power move to prefer to stand because Leslie offers for her to sit down. So interesting.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
But anyway, so she says Mayor Gunderson was playing golf at Pawnee Municipal and his dog Rufus was bitten by Fairway Frank, which is this possum that's been terrorizing the golf course, as you mentioned in your summary. And they show that he's number 3 on the most wanted pet list. I cannot tell you, Maddie, how long and hard and so stupidly laughed at Poopy. It's so funny. Poopy is number 1 and he poops all over the high school cafeteria. It's too much.
We should take a screenshot and post it of that whole wanted poster.
Oh my God. I'm pretty positive I took a picture. I don't know if I have it now. It's probably like from a long time ago, but I think I did take a picture of the whole thing because I wanted to see who all was on this list. I'll post it in stories or on whenever we upload this episode. Oh my God.
Yes,
it's so,
please do.
and she just says it with so much like professionalism and commitment where she's just like, this is Poopy. Not like any sort of humor gracing her tone.
Well, and like, I feel like that's one of the coolest ways that they have Pawnee portrayed.
Yes.
Because to all of us, that's like, what the fuck?
Absolutely.
And to her, it's like,
This is my job.
This is a normal day. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's so funny. Oh my God. But
It's so well done.
so Evelyn asks Leslie to head up this task force, and oh my gosh, Leslie like looks like she's about to, and I'm like sorry if this is like too much for people, but she really looks like she's about to have like some type of orgasm or something at the mention of a task force. Like her face is like her O face.
I know. She's so excited.
She's so excited and like turned on by it, basically.
Yeah. I know. It's like what she's always wanted, like to have some, like it's straight from the mayor's office.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. It's
I'm
a big
also
deal.
like, does everybody know the mayor as well as Leslie does? Or is this just like a Leslie thing, you think?
I feel like that might be a Leslie thing. I don't think many people know or care too much about who their mayor is.
Yeah. No, and I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I know our mayor's like name if I hear it, but I don't really know anything about him.
Yeah. I follow our mayor on Instagram. That's very Leslie of me, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe some people would know, but I don't think to the certain extent that she does, for sure.
Right. It's just because she made that comment, like, everybody knows Rufus, obviously. And I was like, I wonder if everybody does know Rufus or that's just you.
Right, exactly. I don't know that I would know my mayor's, like, animal names. That's for damn sure. Unless he posted it on Instagram. If you're in Nashville, your mayor's name is John Cooper, FYI. And he's been working really hard, so leave him alone. But whatever. Anyway, so they're gonna dance on the grave of a possum, which is hilarious because again, she says it so seriously.
Yep.
And then I love Ron's line here. Leslie's like, Ron will show you around and give you a tour, and he's like, right this way is the exit.
Yep. I think that's my favorite line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
so
think
good.
it's because I want Ron's forwardness of like when we're done. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm really bad at that. Like boundaries of like, hey, like I don't have any more time and I'm sorry and I care about you, but like we're done.
Here's the door.
And I wish I had Ron's like, yep, and here's the exit. Peace out.
I know. It's hard to have that balance, I feel, of like, you know, I don't have any time, so leave me alone now. But also like,
yeah,
does it fizzle out? Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I don't mean friend-wise. I mean professionally.
Oh,
sure.
100%. Yeah, so. Like if you're in a meeting and it's just like kind of going to small talk or you're just starting to repeat the same fucking things, you're like, okay, we're done now, right? Like, no, we don't need this.
This is unnecessary.
No. And especially Ron's not going to show anybody around City Hall. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
Well, I know. Leslie, what are you thinking?
Yeah. Yeah, she just wants to get started on her task force immediately.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so now April is bringing Andy coffee and says that hot orange juice is one of his favorite hot drinks. Ew.
Have you ever had like just lukewarm orange juice?
Yes,
like,
it's not good.
It's gross. So
I
hot.
don't understand.
Like imagine microwaving that, Holly. It's disgusting.
It kind of reminded me of when Aaron in The Office makes like boiled Gatorade for that old lady in Florida.
Yes. It's
Andy and Aaron would be like, well, a different Andy.
They're both
Aaron.
dogs.
Yeah, they're both dogs and toddlers, like you said last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he really needs this coffee because he has a bad case of shoe shine head today, which is so cute.
Self-diagnosed.
Self-diagnosed. And then April has that talking head of like explaining what shoe shine head is for Andy. And I don't know if you noticed this, but did you notice that her Galentine's Day mural is in the back, like leaning against the window?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, the thing that Leslie makes for them. It's so cute. Oh, and then there's a little pen in her mug that's shaped like a heart and it says whatever on the little heart. I want that, number one. But number two, it's so cute. Cool. Like all the different details they give to April.
Yeah, and keeping like, and that shows like she cares about Leslie.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. 100%.
So
yeah, I think she
nice.
Probably would play it cool and say like, no, I don't care, but she does.
Yeah, she so does, and we see it later in the episode too, which I'm excited to note because it's like they have a very cute little moment. So we'll get there.
Yeah, but, it's so cute. She's so into him.
Oh yeah. She's so into him and he's so oblivious. So oblivious.
Oblivious.
The thing is, like, he obviously cares about her, but he's not forward about it, right? Like, he's not he's not giving, like, I don't think she's oblivious to him liking her. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think he's giving off vibes.
Like caring. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think he's giving off vibes
agree.
that, like, he cares about, like, that he has feelings for her. But I think, you know, we see talking heads every once in a while where it's like, she's so awesome. Like, and, you know, we're like, oh, you do care about her.
I think right now he's not seeing her romantically. He's just seeing her as like this really cool, amazing person. And I did write some like detailed notes that are not on this very page right now. So when we get there, I'll talk about it because there are some points when like things happen and I'm like, Andy, you have to know. You have to know. You're not that dumb. Like, well,
I mean, he is and he isn't.
I don't know.
he's a little
You're right. I mean, I'm talking
just
about
a golden
guy
retriever.
He is a golden retriever. But
yeah,
I'm talking about
if you're
the guy
not throwing
who's, like,
the treat
explaining.
he wants in front of him, you know, he's not focused on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. The treat. Did you just say treat?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is reminding me of the cures for shoe shine head, which is napping on the floor, cheeseburgers.
I love the napping on the floor bit.
I know.
That's great.
So specific.
Yeah,
but
it's very specific.
I also, like, randomly, I kind of have to give big props to the background actors because in all of these talking heads, you see a lot of business going on in the windows across the courtyard, in the halls. Like, it looks great. I think it really looks like they're in an office, and it doesn't look overdone. It doesn't look like they're trying to, you know, be too dramatic with it. I think it looks so real.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, they're just very thorough, right? They don't let anything go unturned. They don't want anything to seem unauthentic. So, I mean, I think it's really good. Yeah, it's good work by the background actors, but it's also good work by, I'm assuming Greg Daniels and Mike Schur, who are like, okay, well, we need people in the background here to make it look like stuff's going on because it's in the middle of the workday. So
yeah, totally.
I don't know if these have been here before, but these were new to me seeing them. Shoelaces hanging behind the shoe shine stand.
I feel like I've seen them before, but I do feel like in this one they were on like serious display or something.
Yeah.
Like the way that they framed it, maybe it's where they were standing or something.
It could
really
be,
see them.
Yeah. Well, because at first I was like, are those chapsticks? Are they? No, they're markers. No. Okay. No. Those are shoelaces, which makes way more sense than selling markers at a shoe shine stand.
Yeah, totally. But like, it's interesting because I feel like the shoelaces that I've seen, they're like bright red or something like this. Were you
these
seeing
were like
darker
brown
ones? Oh, okay.
Yeah, these
so
were like
good.
brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make more sense
like a
to
tan.
me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes, that would make a lot more sense. If your shoes die or something happens at work, you need some nice ones.
There you go.
Not bright red ones like I was like seeing somehow.
With your suit.
But anyway, right. Okay, so now I'm at where Ron wants Mark to look at his wood shop if you are. Do you have anything before that, though?
Yes, and Ron, for someone who doesn't like people invading his privacy, he walks right up to Mark's, it's like a desk easel situation that like architects have, right? Like that it tilts up. And he just lays the plans out in front of Mark, like as if Mark wasn't doing work. And I'm like, Ron, dude, like, what are you doing?
You want someone to do you a favor, like you have to be a little bit more respectful, I feel. Yeah. But this is also, it's not only telling of who Ron is, but it's so telling of Mark's character. Like just someone walking all over him and just like throwing shit on his desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
and I really like seeing their relationship because we don't see a lot of their interaction other than like, I mean, hunting trip, we got to see them interact a little bit. But like this is a big Mark Ron episode, and I also like that we kind of get to see Mark come out of his shell a little bit.
Definitely. So, I know.
It's a good setup.
We've talked about this before. I love when Mark kind of like, and Anne really, but when they kind of stand up for themselves or just like yell or something, you know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah, I agree. So we're getting set up for this relationship here in this episode where Ron wants Mark to just approve is he making changes? Is that what he wants?
He wants like a wood shop expansion. So he's trying to expand his wood shop. And so Ron has to get Mark to sign off on it because he's a city planner or whatever. But But yeah, I paused by the way, or I didn't pause. I counted. So there's this pause when Mark asks, it won't be a problem as long as you have everything up to code. You have everything up to code? Question mark. And Ron pauses for 8 full seconds.
Nice.
Before he says, "Nope." Like, will that be a problem? Nope.
Yep. That's great.
It is so wild how long that is, but yeah, it was so funny.
Well, I just like some background because I couldn't remember if he was making a change or he just needed an update on something. I don't remember, but like I'm glad you told me he was doing an expansion. But I feel like Mark's doing him a huge solid here because these city like things that you have to do, because when we were knocking the wall down at the restaurant, like I kid you not, we were knocking down like 4 feet wide and like 10 feet tall, maybe not even 10 feet. It's probably 8 feet tall. And it took us like 2 to 3 months to get it done because we had to go, they have to come assess if you can actually cut that wall open. They have to come and like all the city planners have to do this. And then you have to have an architect, and then the city planner has to approve of the architect changes. And it's like, at the end of this episode, I was like, Mark totally like did Ron a solid because this could have taken forever.
100%.
And he helped him out. But like Ron, and I'm glad it ends the way it does, but it's like Ron, like, dude, you should go into this being like, please help me, not like just approve it,
Literally. Yes. Because Mark is actually, like you said, helping and telling, like, not only telling him what to do, because that would be what any city official would probably do. Like, no, stamp, no, but he's like actually doing the work with him,
Right. Yeah.
That's
it takes
crazy.
a half day. What a man.
God. What a guy. But yeah, so this is the first talk of the animal control department. Is that where you are now, or where you have gotten in your notes?
Yes. And my first note is that I love whenever Leslie goes out in the field because she gets out of those suits she has and her hair immediately goes up in a ponytail.
Yeah.
And she has her Parks and Rec jacket. I love it.
I love it too.
I love it.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
she's like, business lady, I'm out in the field doing my work. I love that.
yes.
Yeah, so this is our first animal control talk. I love it so much. What have you got on this one?
Well, we've got three big guest stars here. Mm-hmm. Right?
Huge.
We have Paul. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Raci?
I know, RACI. I didn't look up how to pronounce it. I was gonna say Rachi, but wouldn't that be 2 C's? Yeah.
2 C's, yep.
Rossi or Raci, we'll see. Either one.
Yeah, I don't know. But he was, I have to give a shout out because he was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he won an, I got to look through what I wrote down. TV. We have, he was in an episode of Baywatch, LA Law, CSI, ER. So like a lot of those like Scrubs and then Perry Mason. That's a new show coming out, and he's a recurring character in that. So if anybody wants to keep watching him, look out for that. And then the film, he was in Rent-A-Cop, The Glimmer Man, Fighting Tommy Riley, She Wants Me, No Ordinary Hero, Sound of Metal, which looks really good, but I've never heard of it until I did this research. So I don't know if you know anything about it.
I heard amazing things about it. Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but a lot of my music friends are saying it's wonderful.
Okay. And do you have any idea what it's about?
Yeah, it's about a specific band. I can't remember which band, but yeah, it just talks about I think it's just about the metal industry. Or not industry, yeah. I'd say like that. It's not an industry. Well, maybe, but the genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was nominated for an Oscar for that.
Oh, that's cool.
I did not go fully into it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he won, but it said nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
That's so cool.
So yeah, at 73.
Wow. Wait. What's 73?
He was 73 when he was nominated.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and that was the first nomination
American
he ever
drama
had.
film, directed and co-written. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. First, what?
Oh no, I was just going to say that's the first nomination he's ever had, and he was like 73, and he's been doing this since the 90s, so that's kind of, or earlier than that maybe even, but like I thought that was cool.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Yeah, right. Okay. It's about this metal drummer and who loses his hearing. That's what it is. I thought it was about a specific band, but I think that he's in a band obviously in the show, but it's not like a band that's around right now. But it's a heavy metal drummer's life is turned upside down when he begins to lose his hearing and he must confront a future filled with silence. And it was like a huge deal and everybody loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's great that he was in that.
Yeah. So,
but speaking of Scrubs, though, I looked this up too, and apparently he was in the episode with Jiggly Ball. If anyone is a Scrubs fan, but I don't really even remember him in that, so I got to rewatch that episode because I definitely remember Jiggly Ball, but I don't remember. He's probably one of the people who like threw a ball at JD. But anyways,
could be a thing. So I don't think we see him again. Because we go back to Animal Control and we see Harris and Brent. Is that his name?
Yeah.
What's his name? Okay.
Sorry, the internet was cutting out.
No, that's okay. Because, sorry, I'll get to why I couldn't remember his name in a second. But we see them over and over, right? But, like, at least another time. But we don't see him again. So, sad day. Did you have anything else about Paul?
No, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Okay. So then I have Colton Dunn plays Brent. And
also it's Brett. I'm sorry. I thought
Brett,
you were saying
thank
Brett,
you.
but it's Brett.
Thank you.
Brett.
The reason I can't remember is because I know him as Garrett from Superstore. So that's like 100% how I know him. So sorry. But anyway, so that's the main thing. And he has a really big part. If you guys don't watch Superstore, I highly recommend it. Is it on the same level of Parks and Rec and The Office? Not necessarily, in my opinion. You can disagree with me, Holly, but but it's still funny.
I don't watch it as often. I was an extra on Superstore one time.
What? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Oh, what episode? We've watched like every episode except for After America Ferrera Left. We've stopped.
Okay, I didn't even know she left. No, I was going to say I don't know the show. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know, but I got to go in the store, and it's shot in Burbank right across from Warner Brothers, and I would drive by it sometimes because it's like
that's so cool.
You can see it from the highway. It's like, you know, the little cloud on top of it or whatever. But yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, no, we could see it when we went to go visit Connor because he lived in Burbank when he was interning there. And we drove and we both screamed out of the car, "It's Superstore!" And Connor was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but okay."
I know. So, I have heard good things about it, but I haven't watched it like super a lot, so it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the main thing I have him in. I mean, he was in that movie Blockers.
I didn't watch that
with John Cena, and like it was that. Like they were parents and it's essentially called cock blockers, but they didn't put the cock in it. They just put the rooster on the top or whatever.
Oh, I feel like I remember seeing that.
I saw trailers, but I never saw it.
Okay.
And he was in an episode of Here's Some Crossover, Angie Tribeca.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's really the main thing I have him in. But he has a pretty, if anybody wants to watch Superstore, he has a much bigger role in that. He's like a main character. So very cool.
I saw that he was also in Key and Peele as well, which I love, and a ton of animated shows. But also I saw that he was a part of UCB. Like he was in the big,
cool.
you know, improv world with UCB. But also he was in, and he's been in a couple of episodes of Comedy Bang Bang, which is a huge deal that like Ben Schwartz is always on and stuff like that. So he's definitely in this world. He's an incredible comedy writer, evidently, as well. I mean, according to, you know, my research, all the things that he's written. I've seen at least a little bit of everything he's done or written, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that you did that. So, I think he was so great in this with Harris too.
Yes, Harris, and we all know Harris because Harris Whittles was a big writer on the show too. But this is the first time we're seeing him act, right? So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And I'm going to have to bite the bullet, or maybe one of our friends or one of our fans who listens to it can tell us. But I do follow Team Coco on Instagram, which is the, umbrella that the Parks and Rec podcast that Alan Yang and Rob Lowe do. And one of the things that they posted about was this episode, actually, and how Harris was supposed to play a different character, which I did not find in my research. And I Google a bunch, as you know. So they must know something that was not released to the public. So I'll have to listen to it, or somebody can tell me. And yeah. So, but he was supposed to play a different character, but now he's playing this, which, honestly, he could play literally anything, and this was perfect. But yeah, I can't get over how much of a backbone he was for this show, as far as writing, producing, story editing, everything, and just so freaking funny. I mean, so good. And friendly reminder about I think you were about to say what else he had done, or maybe not.
No, I was not.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to remember where my head was going, and then I was like, nope, not.
Well, a friendly reminder that he worked on Master of None with Aziz and Alan Yang as well. So, again, kind of in that whole world. But so good. And Brett and Harris are just perfect. We see them come back more, and it's wonderful. So I love that we gave everybody such a breakdown of who they are, because, it's just they're perfect.
Yes, I agree.
But I feel what's his name? Eugene, or wait, is that his name? What's his character name? Paul Rassi? Eugene. Yeah, Eugene, the older guy. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't come back very frequently. I don't remember seeing him a ton.
That's it. That's what I was saying, is we don't see him again, but we see Harris and Brett.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know what happens
Maybe he was
to him.
busy
I think they were just we don't need a third person in there.
Yeah. Maybe.
And it's funnier thinking that Harris and Brett tried to run that by themselves, I guess.
Right. Oh my God. And I just love when they're they're not here. Isn't that them right there?
Yeah.
And hey,
Brett.
I can do it first thing Wednesday, and it's Tuesday, or first thing Monday, and it's Wednesday or something like that. That's such a great joke. But yeah, you were about to say the joke about hey, Brett.
Yeah. Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
It's yo. It's how you know my name though?
Oh my God.
This is how what Leslie does is how I handle children who are being defiant to me when I'm in a session.
Interesting.
It's oh, you want the ball? Well, we're going to do what I want to do.
Right.
And then you can get the ball back.
Yeah. Toddlers are dogs and dogs are toddlers, and they need treats.
And Harris and Brett are
I think
a less caring version of Andy.
Right. I was going to say, I feel 60% of the parks community in these towns, people in general, are of this nature. They need something to follow, like a treat or a ball. But I love this. Yeah, Leslie steals her ball, says to follow her. And then as they're walking on the golf course, he's stop hanging yourself. The rope is around Brett. Oh my God. They're just complete Dumb and Dumber Beavis and Butthead situation. So funny. I love that she walks through the golfers that are golfing and says, "Excuse me, task force," which she clearly could have gone around them so easily.
I've always wanted to do that though, because there's such strict golf course etiquette. And no offense to anybody out there, but I can't get behind golf. I don't know what it is, but I can't. I'll go to the driving range. I love going to the driving range and going to Topgolf.
Topgolf. That's the closest I've gotten, I think.
So good. But it's I get bored doing the 18-hole situation, but then also watching it, and I'm they put it on sports networks, and I'm
it's hard to watch, I feel. It doesn't keep my interest very much. Yeah, and I feel the only people who would watch it are people that play it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong,
that understand.
But exactly.
Right.
I like mini golf. That's my jam.
Oh, yeah, I love mini golf. Mini golf's great.
Yeah.
I would watch mini golf.
Me too.
I would watch
mini
golf.
Too, especially if you've got all the different characters and decorations and stuff.
Didn't they do a cool mini golf show?
Show?
Yeah, hold up.
Not
I remember seeing
an actual episodic TV series about mini golf?
Yeah, a reality show.
Oh my God.
Am I crazy?
I feel that would be
Holy Moly with Rob Riggle.
No.
Yes, he hosted it. It had 3 seasons. Oh, it's still going. It started in 2019 to now.
How
but yeah,
am
they
I just
create
learning
these.
about this?
Yeah, I'm gonna share this with you. Because
Yeah, please do. I'll post it in our show notes.
Yeah, they create these huge ass, like, what's it called?
Like golf courses?
Thank you. Like the holes. They make them really cool.
Yeah.
And
Like
they
little
have
golf obstacle
celebrities come
courses?
on, and I think it's celebrities versus simpletons. That's
Oh
what
my
I'll call us, I
God.
guess. Because Steph Curry came on and did it once, and he's actually a big golfer. I don't know if you can see that, but that's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
can.
the jam.
That is
Yeah,
so
I'll send it to you.
beautiful.
Anyway.
would 100% watch that because they're always coming up with random game shows. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
I need it. Okay, we need to look up when it's coming on next. Okay, you guys, keep an eye out for that. Oh my God.
so cool.
Okay, so now we're at where Mark is going to Ron's wood shop, and there's a sign. There's a bunch of signs also in the deleted scenes where there's just so many of these signs. It's like what I imagine, and I this might be controversy as I say this, but it's what I imagine a redneck Trumper supporter would have all over their, or
Yeah,
like a
that's
Tiger
fair.
King type situation would have like all over.
I'm gonna derail again, but
Okay.
there's also a Tiger King show.
The
coming
Peacock show,
out.
yeah, with what's her name?
Yes, with
Oh my God.
yes, I love her.
Ugh, I do too. The SNL lady. I can't
Kate
remember.
Middleton. No, Kate Middleton's the queen, princess. Kate McKinnon. Do you see what's happening to my brain? I don't know what's going
I
on.
couldn't think of her name either, though.
I was like,
and I was
Kate
like, Kate
McKinnon's
sounds
playing
so
Carol Baskin.
Yeah, dude. I don't know how I feel about that being so dramatized and like popularized, if you will.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Fair.
I do love Kate McKinnon, so I don't know, dude.
I know
Whatever.
that's the hard part,
It's just,
though.
it's
like,
hard when you turn even like these shows where it's hard when you turn SNL skits into full movies and TV shows, and sometimes it works. Like MacGruber isn't coming out now, and especially with Peacock, like I mean, SNL owns all that shit anyway, so it's like they're already on
Right.
NBC, so I don't have to do any extra work. I feel to like get the rights for these
Yeah.
things, but sometimes I'm
Wayne's
just like,
World
what do you do?
was-
Wayne's
was
World
a sketch.
Wayne's World worked. It worked. And
Yeah.
even some like parts of Goldmember were like skits that Mike Myers had come up with, and that worked. 100 Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but we'll see. Whatever. Okay.
we'll see what happens. Anyway, sorry.
Back to
derailed.
the show,
Yes.
Parks and Rec.
100%. And I have to tell you, Holly, this is the first time, I don't know what's wrong with me, but this is the first time I've noticed the outside of his wood shop, like with the chain link fence type
Have
situation.
they shown it? I don't know that they've shown it.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Maybe it's like an extra thing.
No, I don't think they. Oh, do you mean like before this like you mean during just this episode you didn't notice it? Or do you mean like in
Yeah.
future episodes?
Yeah, no. I mean this episode.
Oh,
I've never clocked it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, look, it's only for like 2 seconds, so I really wouldn't
Right.
give yourself trouble or grief over it. But I don't think it's new. But yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely something where we're watching it with like an analytical eye now. But like I
Right.
said, in the deleted scenes, they had 800,000 more signs than what they show. But it's so funny. There's one that says trespassers will be shot, survivors will be shot again. I know a lot of people who would want that sign in my hometown. Oh my God.
Why?
So many
Why is that
violations. Nothing is up to code. Ron says, are you going to tell a man that he can't fart in his own car? Because that's what he equates this to.
That's not the same thing, Ronald, and you know that. That's just,
Oh God. Okay. Now I can't decide which one is my favorite line because I actually love the trespassers will be shot and survivors will be shot again, even though it's not, I would never post that sign, but I think it's so funny.
But it's funny.
Anyway, okay.
But it's funny.
I gotta say, in all seriousness, I do have to say that this one side of Ron is a tiny bit scary because it does remind me that if this was real, Ron would be really scary to work with, in my opinion. And I find that's what kind of makes it so beautiful that Leslie does become close with him because he is so conservative and so Trumpery to me. I don't think he would be a Trumper. I think that he would want no government at all. But
I agree.
Which obviously that's what he does. But I just like it's scary sometimes to think about how if he was a real person, how much I don't think I'd want to hang out with him or know him as a real person.
I mean, That's valid. And
right now, also, he grows, but right now in this very instance.
But I mean, just his blatant disregard for safety too. Like,
and disrespect to Mark. I mean,
it's just a hot mess.
It is a hot mess.
Yeah.
But it turns around. But oh my God. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I see where you're coming from. It's 100%. I also would love to know what they put in the fire extinguisher to make it do that.
Okay.
Because it was gross.
I don't know what it is either, but I do have a deep dive on fire extinguishers.
Yes.
I went a little wild. But I'm just going to tell you everything I found out. I don't know what's inside of it. Actually, wait, maybe I do. I did these notes a little bit ago, so maybe I do. Let me just read to you. Okay.
Okay.
So June of 1996 is when the fire extinguisher needed to be recharged in the show, which made me look up, like, do they expire? When do they? Obviously they do, but like, what is the deal here? So I found that online, that even if there's no expiration date, fire extinguishers won't last forever. So some of them don't say that there's an expiration date, but manufacturers say that most extinguishers should work for 5 to 15 years, which, to be truthful, is like a super long range.
Yeah.
So like, I say maybe check it at like 7 years, and then if it's been longer than 15, you definitely need a new one. But you might not know also if you got yours like 3 years ago, apparently, because like you don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that part. Basically, 5 to 15 years is how long it's good.
Just don't let what happened to Ron's happen to yours. You guys, like, that's the big thing.
That's the big thing. I also found that fire extinguishers need to be recharged immediately after each use. So you can't just use it and then store it, apparently. And so even if the extinguishing agent inside was not completely discharged, the extinguisher still needs to be serviced in order to make sure that it's ready for its next use. I think there are some schools of thought that say that's not totally true. You know what I mean? Like, depending on how much you use, perhaps. But they do say that recharging it means refilling it with the proper firefighting agent, or in some instances, draining the extinguisher completely and then refilling it. And there are specific companies that do this, which is wild to me. But I did not look up exactly what is the firefighting agent. I am assuming some type of chemical / what's the word? Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but just some type of something to make the fire go away, obviously. Okay, that sounded so smart. Oh my God. I hate myself for But the point of that deep dive was that even if there's no expiration date, you need to get it checked, especially if you know that it's been over 15 years or you're on 15 years. And I would say don't even let it get to 15. I would say let it get to 5, and to refill it if you've used it. So,
yep.
There's that.
Yep. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yes. So now I'm at the golf course if you are.
Yep.
So Tom is wondering if he could learn golf, and Leslie's like, I could teach you. Which I think is so funny. It's like bowling. She can do anything. But he really just wants the dope pants, he says. Side note, I don't know if you noticed, and I did look it up. So I kind of saw a little bit of what looked to be a baby bump on Amy Poehler, because she had a button-down shirt. And her second son was born in 2010. Okay. And so I know that the first son, remember we said that they shot a lot of things so they could, they shot into season 2 when they should have been on a break so that she could have a super long maternity leave. Right. I think that she had her second son during this time, but maybe I'm crazy. But anyway, so that's that. And then they see Fairway Frank, and Tom is booking it across the field.
The shot is so well done.
It's so well done.
You wait until after Leslie said it and then pan over, and it's just really well done.
Oh my God.
So I just love that.
Oh, and I meant to say too, back at the wood shop, Ron has 28 violations. Forgot to tell you that. So it's not just like it's a couple things that needs to be fixed. It's like nearly 30 things.
He has oil rags hanging above the fire. It's like stuff I know, Holly.
Yeah, you'd think he'd have common sense, but he just doesn't give a shit. It's fine. If Diane was around, he'd give a shit. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, he would.
His growth.
Diane and the girls.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, okay, so, which, by the way, This is random a little bit, but I'm really trying to not to say anyways, because anyways I've heard / learned recently, which is so dumb. I went to college. Is not a word. It's anyway. Anyways is incorrect. Because a grammar person that I also followed on TikTok says, if you say a sentence and you use that word at the end of a sentence, you'd be like, I wasn't going to do that thing anyway. Or if there's any way that we can do this, regardless, the word is not plural.
Huh.
Okay, moving on. So sorry.
To be careful. I don't know if I do that or not.
Yeah, I do it all the time. All the time.
That's your segue word. One of your segue words. Yep.
Yeah, it is. So Leslie has this whole plan to catch the possum. She's in this huddle, and Andy just runs and grabs him and rolls over, and then the possum is crawling all over him. I have some very interesting news that I emailed Shauna, our camera operator friend, and I sent you the picture of her with the possum. You guys, I'm going to post it. I don't know if I'll post it on our stories or the main feed, but regardless, you will see Shauna holding this possum. She talked about it when we interviewed her as well, but I totally forgot it until she sent us that picture, but it's so golden. The possum's name in real life was named Buddy, just FYI. So cute.
So cute.
But I have to read you this email, okay? Because when I was watching this, I had no idea how this was filmed. I was like, because if you look at it, you can kind of see when Andy's about to grab the possum and the possum's still on the ground, it kind of looks like it's not moving. Therefore, I was like, is it fake? Is it real? What is this? So I'm just going to read this email to you, and it is kind of long, but it's so, so worth it. Okay, so if you look, it's one take, says Shauna. It's all done in real time, and the camera goes, which, by the way, one take, oh my God, crazy.
Yeah, well done.
We start on a real possum. So you see Fairway Frank, and then you pull back, and the camera goes low to show Leslie and the guys, conveniently and intentionally blocking the background where the possum was on the ground. Behind her, the animal wranglers pull the real possum and put a stuffed possum in. Then in the same take, no cuts, same take, they're whipping back, and you pull out as Leslie and the guys move over to reveal our shot on Andy diving for the stuffed possum. And then we cut back to Leslie yelling, Andy! And so on set, we were shooting, like we pause, sometimes called a hiccup or pause, so that they can stop. You know what I mean? So like it's kind of, they take time to swivel the camera, if you will. And then you cut back to Andy, and he's holding the real ones. So he stands, and then this whole thing where he was where the possum was like crawling all over his neck and like going up his body, that was all improvised. Like that was not something that they taught the possum to do. The possum just started crawling all over him, and Andy was like reacting, or Chris Pratt was reacting in real time, like, what's happening? He's on me. He's on my neck. You know.
That's awesome.
Which is so crazy. He just milked it as scared Andy, says Shauna. But Shauna also says that a cool fact was that a very nice Humane Society representative was always present to make sure no possums were harmed in the filming process. And then she sent us this picture that I will post. And she also said that she talked to Burley about them two being on the podcast together. Like she texted them. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. This little, like, community we're rebuilding
now.
Oh my God, it made me so happy. But thank you, Shauna, for that email, because that blew my mind. That number one, that was all one take, and number two, that it was a mixture of both a real possum and a fake possum.
I feel like that's almost more difficult.
I know, but the fact that they like grabbed it real fast, swung back the camera, replaced it, it's just like fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's really well done. That's so cool.
So yeah, go back and watch that scene. I highly recommend to really look at it, and it's so well done. You won't like notice it unless you're, analyzing it. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
But I also love how much she remembered too. I mean, it was so techie, I feel. So anyways, anyway is what I meant to say.
Nice catch.
Okay, did you have anything else to say about Fairway Frank?
No, no.
Okay. I have something. Why did I put this? Andy Radical is what Andy goes by at a different time of day, because he's like.
Yep, I have that written down too. So Leslie introduces him to Tweep, and like says Andy like did this, and is it Tweep or is it?
Yeah, it's Tweep.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was the mayor's person.
Oh, okay.
But he said, she says Andy and he goes, Mr. Dwyer, please. Instead. And then in a talking head, he says like Andy Dwyer shoe shinest by whatever.
Oh.
And then says Andy Radical.
It is Evelyn.
Yeah.
It is Evelyn. That
Okay.
Yes, it is. Because this is when they're loading the possum into the van. That's right.
Right.
Yes. And then she says, Evelyn tells Leslie the next time she needs a favor from the mayor's office to give her a call and hands her a business card. I feel like that
Let's stay to business hours, please.
Yes, stay to business hours. She was like, when can I call you? That was so funny. Which
I call
should
you at
choose?
night. That's when I have my best ideas.
Literally. I felt like that was the equivalent of like a Queen's Knighting or something. Or like.
Oh, for Leslie, 100%. Yeah.
Or even getting like a card from Joe Biden or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was just so massive to her. You could see it on her face. Her performance was so lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a great job. And that's like, I mean, you think about it for Leslie, like now the mayor owes her a favor. And there's so many things she's always trying to get done. So it's like.
Big deal.
Yeah.
And then as Evelyn is walking away, we see another possum. So we're not sure if we actually caught Fairway Frank. And this talking head is so lovely. I just love it so much. Like, am I sure the possum we caught is Fairway Frank? Am I pretty sure? I have to ask myself all these questions. Does it help me make decisions? I love all those jump cuts. Also, pigeons
And there
were
are two
behind
real
her.
pigeons.
Yeah. Jinx.
Same minds.
Yes.
Here's my question. What do you do here? Like, do you think it matters enough to be like, like I wouldn't want a possum to die. I would be like, let's go set him free somewhere else, or like what Leslie does, put him in the zoo. Like, but it's like,
Can I tell you something
this could
awful
help
that
you
I
get your
thought?
park.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's the awful part of me, because a part of me was just like, should we just kill both?
Just catch both. Yeah. Why not?
One of them's right. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm the worst human. One of them is innocent. But at the same time, like, I'm sure, those possums are ratchet. They probably are doing some shit that they shouldn't be doing. But maybe I shouldn't loop them in with the raccoons, because the raccoons definitely. But I don't know. I don't know what I would do in this situation. I'd probably go the Leslie route and try to like talk to the person or somebody like about catching the real one. I don't know. What a dilemma.
It
But
is.
all right, so we've got Shauna Malwae-Tweep coming to interview Andy, and another laugh out loud, total Andy being a toddler moment here when Shauna comes back, because of course Andy remembers her because she came to talk to him about the pit, and afterwards she had sex with Mark, and everyone talked about it. Oh
love that.
my God. The facial expression from everyone is perfect, and Tom is just smiling like, yeah, you said that thing.
Yes. Donna's background acting here while Andy's being interviewed is great.
I wrote
She's
that too.
Yeah, she's doing a great job, and because she's not like working, she's within the conversation, which is totally Donna. Like if Donna has gossip to listen to, she's not doing work.
Yeah, 100%. She's just staring at them. I love it. I loved it too.
Yeah.
I love when Andy says, you don't have to think. So I thought, Andy, don't think. Because I thought to myself, don't think, Andy.
Yeah.
And he says, this reminds me of Andy and April's wedding, because he says, I cannot emphasize how little I was thinking. And he says that again when they get married, because he's like, I cannot put enough emphasis on how little thought we put into this.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good.
I like that he corrects and he says, not friends, colleagues.
Exactly, colleagues, because he made vermin friends. Vermin friends sound stupid, so colleagues. He made those colleagues in the pit when he lived there. I love this camera work here. This is where the camera becomes a character, because the camera swings to April when Shauna asks about Andy's girlfriend changing her mind about getting back together, which she's talking about Anne, because Shauna doesn't know that they've broken up.
Right.
Awful and heartbreaking for April.
Yeah.
So
and like
sad.
Shauna, like, because we're getting to a point where Andy isn't talking about Anne a lot.
Right.
So we're getting where he's normal. He's getting to be more himself, like reliant on just him.
Yeah.
And then Shauna drops that bomb, and it's like almost like dragging a bone in front of him.
I know. know. Yeah, because he didn't even think about it. You can see it on his face. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I could maybe get her back if I do this. And April is so dramatic and like she just can't handle it. She leaves. She has to get out of this room.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I think this maybe shows a little bit of how much she's starting to like Andy, because I think that in the first couple of episodes, and maybe even just like season 1, you would think she'd just bow her head or like put her hands on her head or something and just like block it all out or something. But she is running out of that room.
Yeah, she's upset.
Yeah. So, Tom is in golfing clothes when he's talking to Mark, which is hilarious because he has not been golfing at all.
No, he's just in it for the fashion.
Yes.
And I think the money that golf comes with. Because usually if you play golf on a regular basis, you have money.
Right, 100%. And he just thinks they look dope and cool and fancy. Yeah, exactly. There is a deleted scene where Tom is wearing this outfit and he gets his shoes shined like in his golfing outfit. And Andy is like, I don't know if that's going to help because they're all already these shoes are pretty shiny because they're brand new golf shoes, and Tom is like, there's no such thing as too shiny, and he like hobbles away after he stands up because they're golf cleats kind of thing, and so he's like walking really funnily, and okay, this led me to my next deep dive on golf clothes. So I was like, why in the F do they wear what they wear? And so let me just, again, situation about to happen of me reading my notes and talking in the middle of reading them. So let me just read this. So basically, golf originated in Scotland back in the 1500s. And at first, it was actually banned because men were supposed to be focusing on war/military training. But then James IV became a fan and brought it back. So people were playing golf to like be, fun and have an extracurricular activity. And they were like, you should be focusing on fighting and military and whatever. But then James IV was like, I like this. So I'm going to bring it back. And as far as clothes go, they used heavy tweed to block out the colder weather because this was in Scotland, right? So they had all these heavy materials, and that's kind of where the tweed and the plaid kind of stuff came from. And if you think Scotland, you might think like kilts and plaid and heavy materials. So really it was just because it was more practical, not because of any sort of fashion moment. And then in 1920s, it gained popularity in the States, golf did. And it was more of like a newsy type hat situation. And now what you see, like the super bright patterned clothes, was actually due to the 1970s kind of flower power moment with all those like bright, colorful, fun fabrics and patterns. Like the 1970s were just like an experiment in how fucking bright can we get this, like neon and all these things, which bled over into golf clothes. And I think a lot of sports clothes in general, really. But then I learned that in the 1990s, athletic companies like Nike, Adidas, et cetera, started putting their logo and on shirts and brands, like their graphic. And that became way more prevalent than any of the fashion stuff because branding became such a big deal in the 1990s, evidently. And this was to get, and then, they started doing their own research on like what's going to make, our players not only stand out, but be able to perform the best so that we can get as much money from whatever, team we're supporting or whatever. And as far as the shoes, okay, I had to look this up because it's deleted scene. I had no idea that golf shoes were like cleated kind of. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah.
I had no idea. And obviously I knew that. I kind of pieced it together using common sense of why you would need that, but I had to just make sure. So this is to give the player more balance, flexibility, and stability during their swing. So your shoes kind of dig in as you're swinging, and you're swinging hard. I mean, if I'm remembering Topgolf, even that was kind of like, you're swinging hard. So I can't imagine like real golf. And then walking on the grass, obviously it helps like going up and down the course and keeping your, just that's a normal cleat situation for any sport. But yeah, that is the history of the golf outfit.
Good job. Nice.
Thank you.
So now we know why Tom is dressed this way.
Yes, exactly. It's a mixture of Scotland and the 70s.
Yeah. Yes. And I love how awkward he gets when Ron comes in and he's just like, yep, time for me to go. And he starts to leave, and then he comes back in a couple seconds and he's like, I need my pom-pom. And so he's looking for the pom-pom he dropped. And I was just like, this is so well placed to have Tom here because there's so much tension between Ron and Mark that I think if we didn't have the comical relief of Tom, we would all be like, what's happening?
As you're saying
really
that,
awkward.
It reminds me of other scenes where this happens, and it reminds me of when Andy and Dwight in the office are like going at it, like about to have their duel, and Jim walks right through them.
Yep.
That's like totally what it is.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
That's like
it's just keeping you a little lighter.
Right.
Than
What
being
a
like
comedic technique.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Yes.
So.
But this also I clocked / timed this pause as well. It was 6 seconds this time, and I wonder if that is Ron's tell. Like when he's lying, he has to pause.
Yep. And then he goes, "Yep."
I gotta hand it to Mark, like we talked about. Like, I'm glad he's kind of standing up to Ron and be like, "No, you didn't do it. So get out of my office if you didn't do it."
Yeah.
I just love this. Also, Tom says Tommy needs a banana and leaves. That's another thing that comes back. There's one thing that said Tommy needs a mango. I remember him saying that when they're at I don't know if this is worth saying, but when they're at the TV station where Leslie's gonna play like her bad. Bless you. When she plays her bad vindictive campaign video, and then he's like, Tommy needs a mango, and then he leaves. It's really awkward. But
yeah.
Anyways, okay, so now I'm at where Shauna and Leslie and Andy are all still in the little conference room.
Yeah, and we find out that this could make the front page. Mm-hmm. So,
which is wild. Shauna asks Leslie how her hole is.
Yeah.
No, the pit.
Yeah, the pit, lot 48. Yeah.
This photographer came back. I think it's the same photographer that was taking Ron's picture in Woman of the Year. I think.
Cool.
And they're doing a little photo shoot of Andy. He's taking 800,000
playing the guitar.
Oh my god, playing
for the
guitar.
Possum.
It's so freaking crazy. Wait, I feel like I might have recorded one of them because I just thought that we needed to hear what he's singing. It's so funny.
Well, Fairway Frank did bite the mayor's dog, so this could be on the front page.
Fairway Frank, you're gonna die, you're gonna fry, oh yeah. You guilty son of a bitch. You're gonna fry when they flip that switch.
I just thought it was so perfect for them to have that. Guilty son of a bitch. It made me laugh so much. Yes, that song is perfect. And I don't know if Andy just came up with that or what happened. There was no commentary and it wasn't on the Wikipedia Parks page, so I don't know. But either way, it was perfect.
Either way, it's great. We like it either way.
I laughed out loud. There's a deleted scene where Donna is saying, I have a possum at my house. You should come by and take a look downstairs. To Andy! Maddie was drinking water and basically choked.
Why? Oh, Donna.
And then there's a talking head of her like laughing sexily to the camera. She doesn't even say anything. She's just like laughing kind of sultry.
Oh my gosh.
They're definitely
love that version
building
of Donna.
Yes. They're definitely building her sultriness.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Anyways, go ahead.
My next note is like April's like looking upset and she's like, no, I'm happy, and he's like, our happy reactions are super different.
Yes.
Which is great self-awareness.
I know, it's so terrible. So it's this talking head before we get there of April saying like I'm just pissed at Andy, but I'm not really pissed at Andy because possums are just adorable. Like she's trying to dig herself out of this hole that she's given herself of like being upset with Andy to the camera, I feel, because we're the only ones that kind of know like that she is not handling Andy talking about Anne very well. Right. And we have this like sad moment that you were just mentioning where April really hurts Andy because she says, I can't wait with you, because Andy wants her to wait with him for like the pictures or something like this to come back, or for the article to come out. And she says, I can't wait with you because I have to go do something that actually matters.
Right.
My jaw dropped. I was like,
I know. That was a dig.
It was so brutal. brutal, tough look. And his facial expression, I took a picture of it. His facial expression, like he's just staring at the camera, so heartbroken. It broke my heart into like 5,000 pieces.
Yeah.
But this is where my notes were about like how Andy is just so clueless. Like he has no idea that April wants him and no idea that saying the Anne thing in front of April might make her upset. And I was like, this is kind of where I was like, he has no idea. But then I was like, I guess it's Andy. He's not like our guy. We love him, but he's just not the smartest. And I was like, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, now, and then I have a deleted scene, but I can't remember what it is. Let's see.
So, Anne's like super into flowers, huh?
What? What do you mean?
I'm watching her house, while she's away at that nurses conference.
Oh.
She's got like 1 billion pictures of flowers and meadows and children.
Yep.
Did that used to drive you crazy?
Oh my gosh, totally. That house is so cozy. The little soaps that are in the shape of seashells, and the couch is awesome, and the smell of waffles all the time, because I always asked her for waffles.
God, you in that house should get a room.
Totally. Wait, what?
He just has no idea what the fuck is going on.
No, he really doesn't.
He does the literal opposite of what April is trying to do. He's like, she's trying to get him to talk bad or like get some kind of proof that he's not still into Anne, and he does the exact opposite.
Yeah. No, he really does. It almost doesn't sound like Andy either.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like the laugh and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Like it almost sounds like, I wonder if, I don't know, you're the one who saw the scene. Like he's almost in that hero phase of like, I'm not, like I'm fine. Like type thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting.
I think that this was when they were at the shoe shine stand, and she's like sitting in the shoe shine like chair, and he's just kind of sitting in his usual spot. And honestly, I don't know, maybe it is the hero thing. I just feel like he is just making conversation. He has no idea that he just has no idea what's going on. He's just completely stupid to what she's trying to do. And so he's just like reacting off of his first thought that comes to his head when she mentions the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Anyway, I thought that was really interesting / can lend itself to why, even more so, why April feels like I have to go do something that actually matters kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I think it happened, that scene would have happened before the interview. So that, I don't think, yeah. So that's, again, the timeline of it all is like, okay, she's trying to get him not to like Anne. Then he says he likes Anne or / wants to get back with her. Then she's like, okay, I've had it. I got to leave.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's so sad. It is. But then like there's then there's another deleted scene which I think could shed some light, where Andy is shining Tom's golf shoes. We talked about this, and Tom asks Andy if he wants to come to the club because with his new pants and Andy's possum tackling story, they could really land all the ladies. And Andy says, get this, no, I have plans. I'm not really feeling it. And he's like, kind of sad. This is after April's thing where she's like blows him off, and so I'm like, Andy, are you starting to get it maybe now?
Yeah.
Like now you don't want to go out partying with the ladies because April was like mad at you, and so maybe you're understanding like there's more to this relationship.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
Anyway, but yeah, so like, especially at the end when he brings coffee to her, I think that it's like, okay, I think we're starting to get there maybe, but he just doesn't know how to express it, which we learn later as well. But
yeah.
Anyways, okay, so now I'm at where April and Leslie are at the golf club talking to Mr. Campopiano. Are you there?
Yeah, to give him 3 photos of possums and ask if one of them is Fairway Frank. Now, why?
Why of giving them
just, well, why do you think that he's going to be able to identify a possum? Because I feel like it's different if you have 3 different colored cats that you're like showing, but like
yes,
most possums I feel like look pretty much the same.
Right. No, they all look the same. I would not have been able to differentiate one. And like her incredulity. How do you say that word? Incredulity at being so she just basically can't believe, like, oh my God, those are the same possums. How could you not know what they each individually
I know, she's so upset about it.
Ugh. But yeah, so she's really committed. But by the way, okay, so I have a guest star breakdown, which by the way, okay, so this guy's name is Lyle Kanouse. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I should have asked, because guess what? He sent me some voice memos.
Yay.
He was so sweet and kind. He's been in a bunch of stuff. 911, Bad Teacher, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, bunch of other stuff. He is a working actor, and he was so sweet to send us some clips, and I'm going to I asked him kind of our normal questions about auditioning and being on set and things like that. But I do have to preface this by saying in one of the clips, he said Audrey instead of Aubrey, because his Aubrey Plaza, because his wife's name is Audrey. And I had to cut that out for time constraints. But I wanted everyone to know that he thinks about his wife, number one. He accidentally said her name. But number two, she's an actress as well. And I love her.
Cool.
I had no idea they were married. Her name is Audrey. I'm going to butcher her name. I'm going to post her. I'm going to post her in the show notes as well, just because I think she deserves it. But she's an actor in Mad Men, Big Love. I've seen her in other stuff as well, but she is like a character actress for sure, much like he is, where, you know, they're in single episodes. But she's been in Mad Men, like, I think it was 8 or 9 episodes.
Dang.
And so you'll definitely recognize her when you see her face. But yeah, and then he also said that this is filmed at CBS Radford in Studio City, which we've talked about before. Did I ever tell you that I've been there? Did we talk about this?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. Pause, hold the phone, arms spread. Because I don't know why I never pieced it together. But every time someone said CBS Radford in Studio City, I did not think about this. But CBS Radford is where they filmed The Talk. And The Talk is a show that is like The View kind of, but I think The Talk is better. But regardless, and they have like 4 or 5 different hosts, and they talk about like pop culture and political things and whatever. But I was a standby audience or a stand-in, like I was an audience member for The Talk, like because you can be paid to be an audience member for certain shows because they need to fill the seats for The Talk so many times. That was like one of the things that I made money doing. Not much money, but like if I had a free day, you can get, and like you have a free 4 hours or whatever the hell, you can get paid like minimum wage to go sit in the audience and have a fun time. And
Nice.
that is where they film it. And so I was like, oh, that's where they film Parks and Rec. And I was like, I don't know what pieced that together, but I just did a mental click where finally it pieced. And I was like, oh my God, I was on the motherland.
Yeah.
But I don't know what stage it was. So if you guys go to The Talk or any other show that films there, but they do a lot of, you know, they also do, oh my God, that show, Young and Hungry, Young and Happy, Young and Hungry, I think.
Young and Hungry with Emily Osment.
Who's Emily Osment? The one that was in
She's,
Hannah Montana?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. They film that there too. And you can be
Cool.
in the audience for that as well. Cause it's like, you know, the live sitcom audiences. But anyway, so I was blown away. I don't know why when he said CBS Radford, I was like, oh my God. And so I just did the research and made sure, and I'm sorry I keep repeating it. I just can't even believe it. So anyway, Lyle, I'm finally playing your things, and sorry that I went on this tangent, but okay, so let me go ahead and share his first voice memo, which was about the audition.
Thank you for including me, by the way. We had fun that day, and like I say, it was rather brief. So I will answer the questions that you've asked me, which is, what was it like to audition? The audition was simple, as it normally is, and these things generally are not that exciting. You know, it's just a collection of men of like age and type, and they are waiting for us to to go in one at a time, do our thing, and then come on out. And I remember it was with Dorian Frankel, and we were in a room by ourselves, at first. Then they had several of us hang out that day. I think they were casting on they were going to cast it on the spot. And so she had me wait. And we were in kind of this little trailer that was attached to the outside of the soundstage. And I believe we were at stage 3, which was interesting because that's kind of one of my lucky stages. I've done several jobs there. The last time I was in stage 3, I was recurred on a series called Bad Teacher, and we shot there at stage 3 on the CBS Radford lot, and so their casting office is in a trailer that's half a wardrobe, and then the other half just some offices, and there was a room where you just went in, and they held me for a while, and then we came back in, and it was Dorian with the director Tristram Shapiro, who was the director for the episode, and I did the scene again with him, and then they just said thanks, and you kind of leave, and you don't really hang out and chat with them so much. They generally don't have questions. You leave it to them to make the decision about who's what and who's the prize pig at the fair, and I guess that was me. So, or in this sense, maybe I was the prize possum at the fair.
That's cute.
Yeah, so that's wild that they decided. I mean, maybe that happens more often than not. I mean, I know that they let you know within a day usually, but to on the same day is wild to me. But yeah, so I asked him about that, and then the other thing that I asked him was kind of how it was on set, and and you'll see what else I asked. I'll just play this for you.
When we got on the set, it was fun, and Tristram was very hands on, and we just got in there. Amy was lovely. Aubrey was really kind of staying in character for her character, and Amy would kind of float in and out. But Amy would, chat me up a little bit in between takes. The whole day, I mean, not the whole day, but the whole day on set, just to do that scene, only took us probably half an hour, if that, maybe 20 minutes. It was pretty quick. I knew my stuff; they knew theirs. We did it probably 7 or 8 times, and we stopped for some technical aspects, touch-ups, makeup touch-ups for the ladies, and then really we had props. We had props there because she had to pass over some pictures to me, so we had to sort of work that out and make sure that she handed them to me in a proper way, because they shot the pictures coming at me for me to look at, so they had to be turned the right way and such. And sometimes those are all technical little things. They're not exciting, but they do take a little time. So that's what it was. It was like that day. It was lovely. The other question is, did I get to interact with the possum at all? Which is funny because Fairway Frank was nowhere to be found. Chris Pratt did. He was the one who actually caught Fairway Frank himself, and he was the only one that actually got to work with the stunt possum, and which they have. They literally have possums sort of trained to all the animal wranglers in town that work have there are possums that will take commands and do things and kind of follow the instructions from their trainers, in exchange for food. So they're happy to do that. But yeah, I never got to the golf course because we shot in stage 3 on a set. So even behind me, the daylight behind me in the windows behind my desk those were just all Those were just stage lights that replicated daylight.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Because it's very well done, because you do think he's on a golf course.
Yeah, 100%. When he said that, I was like, wait a second. Of course, you said CBS Radford, but I just, for whatever reason, my head would not allow me to imagine him not being on a golf course.
So we'll just imagine him still on the golf course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so funny. And I think it's also hilarious that I was just kind of imagining them all having a moment of like just being friends with the stunt possum.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of what we're talking about, where like animals, where Andy is basically an animal or whatever, like needs a treat to do anything. And that's what he said about the possum. Yep. So hilarious. Okay. And then I just have one last like little short clip that is kind of just saying goodbye and thank you. And I just thought I was going to just send it to you, but I think everyone should hear it because it's so sweet, and I just really appreciate him reaching out to us and answering my questions. So I'll play this last one.
Really, in that situation, you really follow the script. So really, there were no improv moments. There was no wardrobe issues. I literally wore my own pants and shoes because I was sitting behind the desk. They gave me a blue polo shirt, and then they put a sleeveless sweater on me, and that was it. And so that was it for the day. It was fun job. I got paid well, and then here we are, all these years later, talking about it on your podcast, which is exciting. I'm glad you guys are keeping the park up and running and live and lively, and good for you for following through and doing your podcast. I know you guys take your time and really talk about it. That's fantastic. So that's really about all I could add. I know it's not terribly exciting. However, I do appreciate you reaching out to me, and it's been fun. So I thank you so much. And I guess we'll talk later. If you need something else from me, just email me, call, or contact me in some way, and I'll be listening. And take care, and thanks for including me in your lives and the lives of all of the Parks and Rec folks out there in America that love the show and still watch it over and over, because I do too sometimes myself. All right. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Wasn't he precious?
He's very nice. He's very nice.
Yes. And I, first of all, thank you for listening. It sounds like he listens to some of it. And secondly, I can't also believe that it took only like 30 to 40 minutes to shoot this. Maybe an hour if I'm being like generous with like his, maybe memory of it. But regardless, 30 minutes, I mean, to an hour. I know it's a short scene, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, to get everything you need.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. So thank you, Lyle, so much for that. We really appreciate it. Tell Audrey hi. She is great. And then now I'm at where maintenance dude comes in and says there's another possum on the course, and Leslie's so heartbroken and stressed and feels like she failed herself in her community, and it's just really sad. I have a breakdown on this fellow. Did you do anything on this fellow? Okay. His name is Coulter Allison, and he gives me, maybe, I don't know why, he gives me Sam from Lord of the Rings vibes.
Yeah, I could see it.
Maybe you'll have to go back and watch it. It's like kind of the curly hair and round face. I thought it was so cute. Anyway, he did great. But I looked up, I tried to get in touch with him, but I couldn't find any information on IMDb or like things that he's done past 2013. However, I did find his Facebook. You know where this is going. I saw it, and I think it was a fan account, and I messaged him because it's me. But and his most recent post was from 2017, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I did see some Shakespeare posts. Like, looks like he was in Shakespeare for a little bit. So don't know where, don't know how, don't know why. But Coulter, you were great, and we appreciate it. So thanks for letting me stalk you. Oh, and then now I'm at where Leslie's like, April, can you do it? Can you do it? You can do it. Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're going to have April steal the possum, and she puts ketchup on her arm to get everybody to pay attention to her.
Right.
And I don't know what goes through Jerry's head, but why does he think it was a good idea to lick her arm? Like, I feel like a normal person would take the blood on their finger or something if they really needed to taste it, which, first of all, disgusting anyway. Yeah. But like straight up off her arm. I was like, dude, no boundaries, Jerry.
It's so funny how little effort she goes. She doesn't even like try to smear it or anything. She's just like squirt line. Oh, here I am. I am broken. I am hurt.
It was enough for April to get out of there.
It was enough. She did it. Oh my God, that is so wild. Yeah, so Leslie's trying to save this possum, and she's getting really emotional. She's listing all the things that she can't do, including spelling lieutenant. Her voice almost cracks when she says that. Like, there's a lot of cants in my life right now. It's so cute. Yeah. And there is also, I'll send it to you, there's a deleted scene as well, which is so hilarious that I'll play right here.
Tell them to print that Andy's a moron.
But what if we got the right one? I don't want to let a guilty possum go. God, I wish there was like a white-collar prison for possums. I can't kill the possum because it might be innocent, and I can't let the possum go because it might be guilty. Wait, what if I cut it in half? No, that would definitely kill the possum. Great idea, Bible.
If you're not a religious person / don't know the religious stories of the Bible, that might not be as funny to you.
Yeah.
But the Bible story, I mean, I'm going to like not do well on explaining this, but basically the Bible. Yeah, you say it.
Has anybody, this might be a better way to do a Holly. We should look up the way John Mulaney explains it.
Oh.
And post John Mulaney's sketch about it. Because he talks about King Solomon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll post that. I mean, the gist of it basically is like there's two women that are saying that this kid is theirs, and the king is like, well, what if we split it in half and you get each half of a kid kind of, and then the true mother is like, no, don't do that because that's my freaking child. And the other mother is like, okay. And then the kid finally learns, oh, the one that didn't want her child dead is the real mother.
Right. Exactly.
Also, the white collar prison for possums was really funny too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, this big dramatic moment, I do feel like it's the dramatic moment of the ketchup thing. I thought that it was a little anticlimactic because I was expecting like, I don't know, more of a hustle bustle situation, but whatever. It was great.
Yeah.
And also like, I know I was going to ask, do you refrigerate ketchup? Like, why is the ketchup just hanging out?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to.
Okay.
Except at restaurants, they leave them out on the table all day. So.
What do we do?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I should have looked that up, but whatever. You're right though. I've never gotten sick from using ketchup at the table. Huh.
Truth.
All right. Well, the more you know. Yeah, Donna again is no nonsense. She's the one that just catches it. And then, all right, so Evelyn comes back. She's mad because Fairway Frank isn't there, and Leslie is so funny. Does he want to have sex with a dead possum? No, he wants to hang it above the urinal so little flecks of pee can get on it. He's not crazy.
Yeah. All I can picture is Bill Murray now, too, whenever they say Mayor Gunderson.
Oh, yeah, totally. That is such a good visual to have because he is such a Mayor Gunderson, I feel.
He really is.
Especially for this moment. 100%.
Great casting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I just love this lady who plays Evelyn. I mean, shouts to her because she was so funny when she was, like, saying that kind of dry humor of the pee thing. Oh, my God, so gross.
Yeah.
And now Leslie is searching these other animals that have been put down. She's like on her computer searching these random animals that have been put down for like bad reasons. While Tom is like pretend golfing in his little golf outfit. And then April calls and says the possum got loose.
And Tom immediately tells Leslie, like, don't tell Leslie. And then he says, so the possum's loose in Anne's house.
I know. I know. It's so quick too. He doesn't even miss a beat or change his demeanor at all. Oh my God. And then I love when Leslie goes over to Anne's house where the possum is loose, where April is there. And she says, "It's me, Leslie No from the Parks Department." I just love those moments when she feels the need to, say her position to people who already know her.
We know who it is.
How did the possum go behind her is my question. Because she was like standing in the front and then somehow the possum got in, like behind her, like near the door. When she entered through the door, I don't know, whatever. He was a sneaky little bitch. It's fine. I love Anne's house. I know that's random, but every time I see it, I'm just like, that is the cutest little house. I would live there.
Yeah.
Much like.
And I love her doors, like when they go through the French doors and they close them.
I think that's so cute.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, now I'm at where Mark comes to help Ron. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. I love this when he keeps saying, "Shut up."
Yeah. And in his talking head, he even has said, "Shut up." And I like this part. This is where I'm like, Mark is like, "Listen, I'm taking a half day to help you. Just shut up and do what I tell you to do."
Yeah.
And I'm proud of him for that.
I am too. I think that bit is really funny when you don't even show Mark saying "shut up," but he's clearly saying it.
You can hear it, yeah.
Yeah, and there's this like cringe attempt at him trying to like laugh at himself, saying like, "Oh, those city planning guys, can be a real pain in the ass," and it's a very cringy moment. But then he redeems himself by doing the "shut up" thing, and I think it's great.
Yeah, that's great.
And I love this sweet moment. We're back at Anne's house with April and Leslie. They're hiding under the covers in Anne's bed, trying to hide from this possum and talking about what if it laid eggs in the bed. First of all, so irrational. That is the stupidest thing you could think. But that is what you think about when there are scary things. If you think about like spiders or any other random thing that you're trying to hide from at home, you think about like that random ass shit. What if they brought their like whole army of friends with them? Like that probably didn't happen, but it might have, Yeah.
It could be a thing. But I think you don't put yourself in this situation with another person unless you're really comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
Getting under the covers like that. So I really liked that moment. And then, April's not really trying to share with Leslie that she has feelings for Andy.
Right.
But she very subtly kind of hints towards that.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, he's going to be mad at me. So don't call him because I just don't want him. Like, I already ruined his day, blah, blah, blah. And then Leslie gets it and says, "Anytime you want to talk about boys," and just immediate shutdown, walls back up.
Well, it's because it's like subconsciously, I feel like April wanted to tell him, Leslie, but like she also doesn't want to be vulnerable.
100%. Yeah. And like, Leslie actually straight up says it, whereas she is just being very, like you said, subtle about it. So like to actually say the words is like, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
So, and then now we're at where Ron gives Mark a canoe.
Yeah.
So
That's
beautiful.
super sweet.
Oh
also,
my God.
what is he going to do with it?
Yeah, what's he going to do with it?
Like, luckily he has a pickup truck and it'll probably fit in there, but like.
Great call. Great call. He can take Anne on a little canoe trip. Indiana must have a bunch of rivers and lakes and stuff, so I'm sure that would be a thing. But yeah, I was shocked. I think that canoe is so beautiful and shiny and perfect and lovely, different colors of wood. It's just perfect.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah.
I resonated so much with how April was slamming the phone, like how she does that thing where the phone rings and then she just picks it up and hangs it up. I was like, if I could do that with my work phone some days, I really would.
Oh, I know. The temptation.
Yeah.
And that's funny because that's exactly what Mindy Kaling does in The Office as well. Like when the Scranton Strangler is going by, she just picks it up and hangs it up.
That's right. That's so good.
But yeah, go ahead.
And then the next part I have is Andy coming in with the coffee.
Yeah, so cute.
It's just so sweet. I have little crying emojis next to it.
Yeah, he thanks her in the news article for helping him wrestle the beast to the ground because he couldn't have been able to do it without her coffee. Without his morning coffee from her, rather. But again, this is one of those things where now I'm just like, okay, this is clear. This is so confusing. So now he still thinks they're just friends? Question mark? Or is he just trying to get her to not be mad at him?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. I think subconsciously those feelings are there, but maybe I think he's like, I just want her to talk to me and I want her to feel like she matters, I think.
Yeah. And also, okay, Why? He literally dedicated The Way You Look Tonight to her after she requested it. I think that Andy's just being a classic, typical guy, just being stupid and not communicating how he feels. But I guess April isn't really communicating it either. But like,
not forwardly.
Right. But whatever. He's just being really oblivious. But I'm glad that he did that in the article. And then now we're at, I put this in quotes, so maybe this was my favorite line, where Leslie says, "I'm proud to say it's somewhere the mayor can never pee on it."
Yes. That's a good one.
Yeah. And Evelyn takes back her card. It was it broke my freaking heart. It really, really bummed me out when she took back her card. And Leslie's face is so grave and disappointed.
Yeah. But I think it also like has this symbol of like what Leslie is willing to get rid of to do the right thing in her eyes, which is really noble.
That's so true.
So yeah, I like that.
I saw another pigeon on the recycling bin behind her in the courtyard, just FYI. So there is that. Yeah, but you're right. She just does. Yeah, we got to mention the pigeons. But yeah, you're right. It was a lot of sacrifice for what she believes is the correct thing to do. So, and we'll never know. But I love this idea. I wouldn't have thought of this, or at least I don't think I would have. But I love this idea of she gave the possum to the Pawnee Zoo. So now it's not dead. It's not alive in the wild. It's alive in a contained space where, again, the mayor can never pee on it. And I just think that's brilliant.
That's the true goal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What a nice solution.
Yeah. I like it.
I also love this line of when Leslie has like a successful career, she wants to be wearing a beautiful blue hat when she's like looking back on her career. That's so random.
I love that. Yeah. It's so Leslie though to have that specific of a thing picked out.
100%. Oh my God. And then now I'm at the tag if you've got anything left before that.
I am too. And we have Leslie and April, welcoming Anne back. And April, like the plan, it looks like the plan was to not tell Anne that there was a possum in her house.
Right.
But you can tell Leslie's face. This is so well acted by Amy because it's like she's just like so nervous, like looking back and forth a little bit. And then she just lets it loose. There's a possum. There's a possum here. So, yeah, it's great. And
I
then
know. Well, the timing of it all too, where she's
true.
like right before she breaks, like before that, she's like, "Don't say anything. We're not going to say anything. This is the plan." April's like, "Don't say it. Just don't say it." And then she just can't do it. Not even like she doesn't even make it 1 minute.
Yeah. And then she awkwardly leaves April and Anne together.
Right. She just runs out the door. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But at least the possum isn't there. It'd be worse if the possum was actually still there. But thank God they got it
can you
out.
imagine?
Which
so
I think it would be a hilarious side note / I was kind of waiting for a deleted scene to see how they got the possum back in the crate. Like, maybe they did call animal control, or maybe they broke down and got Andy, or I could trust Leslie to do it once they like got in control of their nerves. Or Leslie. What was I going to say? Something about I don't remember. Oh, have you seen Goldmember? The Austin Powers one?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, there's a scene where it's not a spoiler for all my people who watch Austin Powers. It really reminded me of when Austin Powers sees this guy, Fred Savage, actually, who is Corey's from Boy Meets World real life brother, who Fred Savage is a great actor and writer in his own right. But he has a mole on his lip, and Austin Powers cannot stop saying mole in literally every sentence. He's like, "Nice to mole you. Meet you. Nice to meet your mole." I said mole. Don't say mole. It's
so good.
So funny. I'm going to have to send you that because it is just perfect. So you should definitely watch Austin Powers.
Please do. Please send it to me.
Have you seen any of them?
I've seen one of them, but I don't. It's the one where he goes turtle, turtle. Is that an Austin Powers movie?
I feel like that's
Mike Myers.
The Dana Carvey one, right?
It's Mike Myers.
Oh, okay. I think that's the House of Impressions or something. I think Dana Carvey's in it because Mike Myers and him do everything together, or a lot of things together.
Yeah.
Well, Dana Carvey is the Wayne's World guy. So,
That makes sense. It checks out.
Yeah, it's another movie, but I think you'd like Austin Powers. You and Connor, I think, would really enjoy it.
We'll have to put it on our list.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll text Connor.
It's so funny. But anyway, do you have anything else left on this episode?
I don't. That's it.
Yay! Okay, so that's the possum. So exciting. Thank you for going along with all of our tangents and deep dives. It was a wild one today, and I'm not going to apologize for it because it was wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. The next one's safety.
Park safety. Uh-huh.
Yeah, perfect. Which this one's Andy Samberg.
Yes, correct. This one is Andy Samberg.
I messed it up last time.
Love it so much. So, and which, by the way, speaking of Andy Samberg, I already told you that I started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine a little bit. And for some reason, it's kind of like New Girl in the sense where, like, it's not my favorite, kind of like you were talking about Superstore, where it's just not at that level yet. Maybe it's just because I need to get I just need to watch it more kind of thing. It's also very campy. And so I just got it. My favorite part, if I'm being completely honest, is Rosa. I don't know why.
I love her.
I do
yeah,
too.
She's great.
She just seems the most
But
realist.
the chief is also hilarious.
Oh, I love him. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay. Well, do you have anything else left to say, Maddie?
I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you for the next one. And we hope that you have a lovely week. If there's anything else you would like us to research. Also, I keep forgetting to say this, but follow us on Instagram if you'd like to get updates, or Twitter. It's just Park Pals Podcast, and I post on there all the time. All the time. I post enough. So there's that. But yeah, we will see you for the next one. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.